Hey, if you grew up and if anywhere between 1969 and 1985 you played with Hot Wheels, more than likely you played with a car designed by Larry Wood. Larry Wood was the only designer at Hot Wheels from that time period, so he designed a lot of vehicles. The very important thing about Larry is not only did he design these Hot Wheels, but he also influenced a whole generation of people in the car hobby. People like myself, and probably even you if you're my age or maybe older or even younger. Because I know a lot of us have brothers and sisters and cousins that played with Hot Wheels and they got passed down and passed around. So the influence of what Larry Wood did is immense, probably as much as Carroll Shelby or even Lee Iacocca with the Mustang. And not very many people know who Larry Wood is. So at the Music City Nationals, I got a chance to sit down and talk with Larry about his life work, working with Hot Wheels and so forth. So here's what Larry had to say. Larry, thank you for taking the time, coming by and talking to us. Sure. Welcome to the show.
Good show.
Now, you're retired now.
I'm retired, been retired for a couple of years.
And so what are you doing with your time now?
Well, I'm building real cars. After all the years of building little cars, I'm building real cars now. So that's just as much fun for me. I like working my hands. That's all that counts.
You're just a car guy, and that's what we all do.
Guy, yep.
And so now you went to work for Hot Wheels back in '69, correct?
'69, I started late '69. There was a couple designers there before me, and it just happened to the guy that Howard Reese was the designer, and he had just come from Detroit, so he was tired of cars. He wanted to do Matt Mason's space stuff. And I went to a party once and ran into him, and one of his kids had a Hot Wheel, and I said, "What's that?" And he says, "Oh, that's a Hot Wheel. That's what I do. I design Hot Wheels." He says, "But I don't like doing that." And I says, "I'll draw cars for a couple of years." And he says, "Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll get you in, you do the interview, and maybe you'll get the job." So I got the job, and Howard went on and did space stuff and everything else. And I started drawing Hot Wheels. I'd been in Detroit doing, a door handle or a grill or a hood scoop or something like that for years. And then all of a sudden I got to do a whole car. So the first car I did was a sports car, of course. Got to do the whole thing. So that was great.
Now, what car was that?
That was the Tri-Baby.
Tri-Baby.
It had 3 jet engines in the back, turbine engines in the back, and the back lifted up, and it was a sports car. And like I say, after working in Detroit doing 4-door sedans, it was a real treat to finally do it. And then I got to do the whole thing in like a week instead of 3 years to do a door handle. So it was the dream come true. And again, I expected to do it for a couple of years till I found a real job, and the toy kept going and going and going, and I just kept riding it. And then when in the 90s it took off, just went crazy. I mean, ever since then it's been absolute. Never thought anything like that would happen.
Now, would you attribute that to Hot Wheels going to their numbered system, or
what they figure happened is that people that played with Hot Wheels when they were kids got kids.
Yes.
Now it's time to go buy a toy for your kid at Christmas or a birthday or something, and they would go out, and the first thing they'd say is, "I had a lot of fun with Hot Wheels. Let's get some orange track. Let's get some a couple cars, and we'll go from there." And then next time, grandfather grabs them, and pretty soon, so they were buying double. And then the collector himself finally got interested in it, and that was kind of my thing, because I always wanted to make it so when you bought a Hot Wheel, you knew who designed it.
Exactly.
So I kind of got my face out there and said, "Look, you can pick this up because it's got a 289 motor in it, and I know what a 289 motor is, and it's a sedan delivery, and I know what a sedan delivery is. When you pick it up, you know you're getting the real thing."
Exactly.
And so it got to the point where people finally, and when the collection things got going and we got the conventions going and stuff, and then they got to the point where people could actually recognize the person that did it. No other toy at the time, not even Barbie, they knew who did the toy.
Exactly.
But I just thought it would make a personal touch to it, and it blossomed and went from there.
Well, Larry, thank you for taking your time. So now that you know who Larry Woods is, you can go back and look up some of his greatest things, kind of like this Poison Pinto right here. And when we come back, we're going to finish our custom Vega, so stick around.